Okay, 10 years ago, I lost my mother, and in the last 10 years, I've never been able to really grieve. So I haven't. The last 4 years, I've been working a job which I've hated, and in turn, trying to do things on the side as well, causing me to have like a bit of a breakdown. What I mean by breakdown is, I went to the doctors eventually, and told them how I'm feeling, and then they diagnosed me with severe depression, anxiety, and signed me off work. They told me to continue doing things that I enjoy and continue doing my hobbies and stuff like that. So I did. While I was off work, I was suffering with a lack of motivation, a lack of ambition, a lack of hygiene. And I just want to tell you like the real nitty gritty when you've got like depression and anxiety, because it's a clouded subject. I always looked at it as if it was bullshit until I witnessed it myself. Not witnessed it as in it happened to me, witnessed it as I've seen it happen to somebody else, and it takes lives. So the bad things that happen to you, you can say like it's disgusting or whatever, but this is like the truth.
Go.
Let me tell you why I went to the doctors in the first place. My job involved me driving to Nottingham on a daily basis, and sometimes it would take me in the excess of 2 hours. So 2 hours there, 2 hours back, there's 4 hours. I was getting paid 7.5 hours, so 7.5 hours plus the 4, there's like 11.5 at least. So there's 4 hours each day that I'm wasting sitting on the motorway. I used to get thoughts as I was driving down the motorway that I just wanted to take it into the central reservation. Obviously I never acted on it because I'm here, but this is like the starting point for me. It's just like, I just thought it was weird, and then obviously I went to the doctors after that, and they gave me metazapine. It made me put on weight. I got to about 17 stone and a bit, and it gave me these bags under my eyes, like massive bags. Then I was sleeping until 11-12 o'clock in the afternoon. I couldn't get to sleep until 4-5 a.m. because it was just keeping me awake, and I tried to overdose on these. I say overdose, they say it's overdose, so I took an excess amount of tablets, and that's that. After that they kept a watch on me and they changed my medication. After that they prescribed me with citalopram, but they had to be careful because, you know, when you do that little the questionnaire, and they talk about how do you feel, etc, etc, etc. I used to describe descriptively what I wanted to do to myself. For example, once I was in the gym, and that was pretty much my only escape, and I think I just couldn't continue the session anymore, so I told my girlfriend that I just wanted to go and jump in front of a bus. But it got like really emotional, like I was crying in the middle of the gym, and that's some pussy business. That's going to be on camera when you do stuff like that. Yeah, the bus. I was crying in the gym, and that's like some pussy business. As I was on my way out of the gym, my girlfriend stopped me. We came back to the lockers and we had a little talk in the lockers. Not in the lockers because we couldn't fit in the lockers, but we was just having a talk. Let me tell you what happens as you're going through depression and anxiety. You know, when you wake up as a man and you will need to have a shower, but you just think, not today, I'll have one tomorrow. that happens constantly. Like, I think I went 3, 4, 5 days without showering and brushing my teeth. And you're saying it's disgusting, but that's because society's told you it's disgusting. At the end of the day, if you go to somebody and say, I haven't washed in 5 days, they'll be like, ugh. But if you go to somebody and say, I haven't washed in 5 days, I just haven't had the motivation, I feel depressed, I feel anxious, it's a whole different story, because then they'll be empathetic or sympathetic towards you. So there's like a misconception as well. Do you know, like I've had a couple comments directed at me recently saying, oh, put on weight or you got a belly or anything like that. But the thing is, these comments, like they hurt you, because like all you want to do is eat, and like all you want to do is binge eat and stuff like that. So like I've lost weight, so when people come up to me and say, oh, you've got a belly or whatever, like, I'll brush it off, but like it hurts, but some people probably couldn't handle that. So even like the smallest comments like that, telling somebody they've got a bit of a belly, it might seem like, oh, you got some banter or whatever, but if someone's suffering, that's not banter. Like that could cause them to literally go jump off a bridge, because it could be that last straw. Or in the case of somebody I know, they jumped off a building on top of a car park, and the very same day that they had counselling sessions. So anything can happen. Like you don't know what's going on in someone else's head. And with all the stigma about how people are using depression and anxiety to get off work and stuff like that, there's a line between people with depression and people with self-prescribed depression. So heading back to the hygiene, if somebody was to tell me 5 years ago that they had to scrape their ball bags off the side of their legs because they're that dirty, I'd have looked at them and thought, you fucking tramp. But having to deal with that now, and having to jump in a shower and the water's black, and like you're scared to go out the house because you just don't want people to see you and stuff like that. Like now you see things in a different light, and you don't really want to live. So therefore, why are you going to shower, or why are you gonna cook a salad that day and eat healthy? Like the only escape that you've got is a gym. So what did I do? First of all, I spoke to somebody, which was the hardest thing. I remember being at work and I had a call from the doctor. I had a telephone appointment and the doctor was trying to talk to me, and I was at work trying to act big, but I think I ended up crying on the phone to the doctors, and then she was just saying, okay, we need you to come in today. And I was like, well, I can't. I'm in, I think I was in Doncaster. I was like, I can't. So I had the next day off. I think work had to put a lot of things on hold, but that was always my issue. I always thought, that people are relying on me, I can't just do that. I've got to look after like other people's needs instead of my own. So that was like a main issue. I kept on thinking, but if I let somebody else down, something's going to happen. So I spoke to somebody, spoke to the doctor, I spoke to my girlfriend. She was the one to push me to go to the doctors. I got a week's sick note, and then that sick note made me really anxious, because I remember getting that sick note for a week, and then I was just like, so what happens after this weekend's? I'm not in position. And then that sick note carried on. I kept on getting more anxious every time I had to call up the doctors. In the end, I stopped work on November the 27th. I've put my notice in a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm an official full-time photographer and videographer. But I feel like I don't have a big following. I don't have people that follow me and like loads of comments on my pictures and likes on my pictures and stuff like that. I don't have that. That's not me. So why am I doing this? And in essence, it's a drop in the ocean. Like, what's that going to do? But if enough people do it, it creates the ocean. So if one person sees this and decides, I'm going to talk about it, then that's a bonus. But it's more of awareness than anything else. And people think, okay. Alright, let me take you back again. 10 years ago, when my mum passed away, I was 18 years old. I had to go from a boy to a man, like very fast. I didn't even have time to think about or process anything that happened. She was a rock that kept the family together. So, in essence, The Rock left. Not Dwayne Johnson. The Rock left. The Rock was gone from the family. The Rock's everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. We take away The Rock from the family, it disperses. Then you've got like family members that were doing their own thing, and then eventually gets to the point I was doing my own thing. And mental health, I laughed at. It was mental health is like if you think you're good, you are good. You know what I mean? So I always thought, I'm cool. Whenever anyone asks me if I'm alright, I'm cool. So then I was just laughed at it until I met my girlfriend, and then I got involved with mental health quite a bit. And then, like you listen to the stories and stuff like that. But that goes on a different course. But so then I met my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's upbringing was very different to my own. She had a whole host of, I would say mental problems, but that makes her sound like a loony. But someone's upbringing seriously changes their adulthood. So when I learned about her upbringing and stuff like that, it really makes you think about how things happen when you're at a younger age, how it affects you when you're growing up. And that really opened my eyes in a lot of sense. One thing that I did do recently, I know this is all over the place, I'm jumping from bit to bit, but I think you get the gist of things. But I've got a life coach. Well, I haven't seen him in a while, but I've got one. How many times have I said that?
You can cut it in, you can put it in the top.
So I've got a life coach, and this ain't in the shot, is it?
No, not even in the slightest. What's wrong in your life?
Probably could do coming down a bit. It's a bit far away, but yeah, sweet. I've got a life coach. One of the most important things I've ever done in life. He's also my best friend. We've actually got like a. He's turned into an adjective. So like whenever you talk to him and he goes deep, like his name has turned into an adjective. I can't even say adjective. Adjective. So every time if he talks to you, and then he starts going off into his own little world and start telling you about how life is and stuff like that, you know you've been. I'm not going to say his name just because you probably don't want to be outed like that, but his name has turned into an adjective, and the people that know him will know what I'm on about. Let me tell you where I am now then. I've started doing some work for a large sports digital company. From there I've been invited to the Fed Cup, Women's FA Cup semi-finals, Women's FA Cup finals, the Women's World Cup, hopefully the Women's World Cup in France. That's going to be on camera.
You need to put it on actual something.
Just throw it behind you. So, World Cup in France. I've met a few footballers. I've met women footballers. I've been in touch with some of the top women's. Who's that? So where am I at the minute? I've started doing work for a large sports company. I'm not going to say their name just in case they don't want me to. I've been to the NBA in London. I've been to the Women's World Cup friendly, England versus Canada women's. I've been interviewing women's football players. I've been able to invest more time into doing gym photography, gym videos. I've invested more time into doing gym stuff. What else? I've met Olympians. I've raced against an Olympian. I won. She didn't try, but I won. Nightclubs. I've had a lot more time for nightclubs and stuff like that. So as I'm looking around me, I've got all these lanyards and these comments that I've had from people and everything that I've done. I've managed to like hold and like secure, and like it makes me look at and remember. I obviously don't need to take all this to Mike's, but
I'm just saying, like, why don't you add a picture of like?
I was going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so for example, Manchester women, England women, Canada women, England World Cup, British Cup Finals, Shardfest, Hoops Fix Classic, NBA London. Where's that one with my?
No, it's in the next room. Let's get it.
The one with my picture on.
Yeah. It's in the washing basket.
I'll just stay like this. And Lord, will always love you. I've got this one as well. Got my name on it. That was for the Fed Cup tennis. I've also got a couple of these now, which, if the people who given me seen them, I'll probably be in trouble because I don't think you're supposed to take them home. But I got one for the Fed Cup. You might see me on TV in the camera section, and then I got one from the football. But I think that because I've decided to take a dive into the life of a full-time photographer, videographer, fortune favours the brave. So I've took a massive leap of faith, a massive step, and at the moment it's paying off. I'm getting a lot of interest, and a lot of my stuff is going to big places, even though I might not be posting as much anymore. I've got loads of things in the pipeline. I bet I sound shit on camera.
You really don't. You sound really.
I bet when I get this back, like, I bet I'm just like. But yeah. So yeah, all I can say is. I have to open it, but she needs to understand that she's got. Minxie!
Minxie! Oh, that's not Minxie.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm gonna be. There you are.
Why didn't you greet Star Fox like that?
Star Fox just jumps. Hello. Anyway, they're my biggest supporters, as well as my girlfriend. As I was saying, if I can advise anyone to do anything, is to talk about it. If you feel like you're going through anything that I've mentioned, a lack of ambition, the lack of sleeping too much, sleeping too little, not like your life, you don't like where it's going, you don't like what you're doing, you've got too many cats and they keep jumping in front of the camera, all of that stuff, talk to me, message me, talk to somebody, go to the doctors, speak to a friend, speak to a life coach, get a life coach.
There's a website. I don't know if
you just killed my vibe then.
No, I'm just saying there's a website. I don't know if you want to mention it. It's for like 0 to 25 young people. It's a counselling service there, and then on the website it's
What's the website called?
Kooth.com. KOOTH.com.
Come on.
You don't have to mention it.
Don't just sit on the windowsill. Come
I
on.
think that's a really good thing.
Come on, move, go on. Well, I'm trying not to push a cat out of the window, but he's testing. All three of them are in there. Come on, move. Should we just finish it like this? Anyway, as I'm saying, it's really important that you talk to somebody. You talk to the doctors. Get a health questionnaire assessment done. See where you stand. You got to be selfish. Don't think about what other people are doing and stuff like that. Don't think about how other people perceive you. Don't think about being judged. Don't think about that. Don't think about just because you're a man, or just because, like, not even necessarily a man. Could be a woman, or you could be none. Could be the other one. Sorry. Could be both, depending on how you are. Just think, you could go to talk to somebody. Go to what's it called? Booth.
Kooth, KOOTH.com.
Kooth.com. My girlfriend's just mentioned it to me. It's a website for ages up to 25.
Why do you sound like a robot? I think you should say that again. You sound like a robot. You sound like I'm holding something up to you.
Yeah, it's I
think you should close the window when we're talking about that last bit. And he's getting red. He's like, oh my god, no. He was so scared he ran off.
Okay, back to it. Alright, so here we are. It's important that you talk to somebody. I think I've said that 60 times now, but it's important that you talk to somebody. 61. Right, there's a website called Kooth, KOOTH, something like that. My girlfriend told me, for ages up to 25, that you can go on there and talk to somebody. It's free. Well, going to the doctors is free. Like, everything you're doing is free. You don't have to. A life coach might not be, but you need to talk to somebody 62 times. Just make do with what you've got in life. If you're not satisfied in your current path, take a dive into something that you enjoy doing. Because you only live once. You're punching yourself.
I've got the best thing for you to say.
It has to be quick. Look, go now.
You don't have to suffer with mental health. No.
You don't have to suffer with mental health alone.
No, that's not what I was going to say. You don't have to suffer. You don't have.
Okay, my girlfriend's just. I'm going to close it up now because I've got a shoot to get to. Just remember, you're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be all of that. That doesn't define who you are. Being angry doesn't make you an angry person. Always being happy doesn't make you a happy person. What's important is that you stay consistent and stay persistent. Just be content, be persistent and content with being content, and everything will fall into place.
You don't have to be depressed to make yourself have good mental health. Can we just...
You don't have to be depressed to make yourself have good mental health.
Adam, you've just put your dirty skin down the side of the sofa.
Yeah, I'll vacuum it.
Will you though?
One day.
Have you ever touched the vacuum? Stop.
It will get vacuumed.
Adam.
Okay, right, so I'm gonna leave you with something. Avengers Endgame. 10 out of 10.
I'll press stop.